Hello everyone, my name is Zach. I am the Traveling Man and I come to you today from Bermuda where we're going to look all around this island and I'm going to show you some things you can do when you visit via cruise ship. So if you're ready, come on, let's get this adventure started. Just off the ship here in the port area at King's Wharf, and if you're on a ship sponsored excursion, you'll most likely meet on the ship and they'll tell you where to go when you get out here. However, if you are like me and going on a short excursion on your own, you're going to keep walking. It's actually not that far of a walk at all. We started down there by the ship and we walked right up here, and you see the other pier over here, the Norwegian Joy's there now. You see where these two pier kind of meet here in the middle. This is actually where you're going to find these tents over here, these white tents, and that's where you're most likely going to meet your excursion, or at least that's where I've been instructed to meet the one I'm going on today. I also wanted to say that there are a lot of taxis on this road all the way back to the ship, and then over here on the other side as well in this median area, a lot of different taxis. So if you do just want to book a taxi on your own, just know that they're out here. They also have the Segway scooters all around.
Pride ourselves on being one of the friendliest islands around. So this is a half island tour, but we do start right here in what we call the Royal Navy Dockyard facility. This facility started to be built by the English Royal Navy around the late 1700s, and they occupied it all the way until about 1995.
This here is Sunset Bench, because the bench of course looks over toward the west, so if you're here in the evening you could sit here and see the sunset over toward the US back to the west. An interesting fact that the tour guide was just telling us is that out there, you can probably not see it on camera, but about the center of the screen there's some boats, and right near that point there is a white buoy, and that buoy actually marks the geographical end of the Bermuda Triangle. But that's one of the points of the Bermuda Triangle where it starts or ends, however you want to look at it. But a beautiful overlook here at Sunset Bench. An interesting fact about Bermuda is that they actually have more boats in the water than they do have cars on the road. They can have one car per house in Bermuda, but as many boats as they'd like. Now we're going to walk up the hill to one of the forts. The tour guide was saying there's over 200 forts on the island of Bermuda. And this is because Bermuda was British controlled, and they were worried because of its position in the Atlantic Ocean that the United States was going to try to take over the island. Great Britain and the United States are buddies now, so the forts are actually not needed. Here is the smallest working drawbridge in the entire world, and it was built back in 1620 for the Bermuda sleuth, which was a type of sailboat. So you can see it's very narrow to allow just a sailboat, and it could draw to let the sails of that sailboat go through. And there have been a couple of boats go through here since we've been here. So these fish here that they're feeding are called sea piranhas. It's pretty crazy to see them breach the surface and attack the bread that they're throwing out there. Lighthouse here is one of only 2 cast iron lighthouses in the entire world. This weather vane here actually used to be situated on top of the lighthouse, but in 1988 they actually installed that radar that you see there on top, and the radar is detecting any ships or anything like that, other marine traffic near the island. So now over here on the south side of the island, just on the other side of the lighthouse, you can see the lighthouse is still here behind me. But look at this view. Look at how spectacular this looks. Now, of course, Bermuda in its widest point is only 1 mile wide. The island is about 22 miles long, but only 1 mile wide. So you can actually see that here. If you look over to your left, you can see the Atlantic over here, and then over here to the right, you can see the Sound or the harbor. These beaches here on the south side are very beautiful because they have these nice rocks and these cliffs in some places. And there's actually, let me zoom in here a bit. Over there you can see there's like a little doorway there toward the right of the screen. And the British military actually used to hide a lot of ammunition here, a lot of gunpowder here in these cliffs. And that's one of the places where they would do that. I always hear people talk of the famous pink sand beaches. Well, there you go. You can see all the pink specks here in the sand here. It's really nice sand, so really fine. Now we're out for day 2 of our time here in Bermuda. We're actually about halfway through because we've been here about 24 hours and we have about 24 hours to go. So that's about 3 days total that we're here in port. And you can see the ship behind me here. However, we were in port yesterday with the Norwegian Joy and they left yesterday afternoon while I was on the tour. So the tour yesterday was a 3-hour tour. It took me from here in the Royal Navy Dockyard all the way over to Hamilton. We saw several stops along the way. Really enjoyed that tour. So make sure you check out Bermuda Full Tours, and I'll actually put a link down below. This video is not sponsored or anything. They just did such a great job. If you're coming to Bermuda and you want a good excursion, much cheaper than what the cruise lines are offering, make sure you check them out. So I'll put their website down below so maybe you can see if they have a tour that works for you when you're coming to visit. But the plan for today is simple. We are simply going to walk around the Royal Dockyard and we're going to see what all there is to do here in the immediate port area. So maybe you don't have an excursion, maybe you don't want to go on one of those private excursions, you don't want to get a taxi, you just want to see what's here. And it is a beautiful port area and I'm sure there's lots to see. So we're just going to walk around the port. I'm going to show you the shops and the restaurants and all that, and maybe it'll be a help to you for when you plan your visit here at the port of Royal Dockyard in Bermuda. So this is where I caught my excursion yesterday. There's also a lot of taxis and stuff out here as well. This is just right as soon as you get off the ships, right here where the pier sort of meets this road that goes down into the port area. This is where the buses are going to be for the excursion. So this is where you'll likely meet your excursion. And even I, who super plans all my trips, I wasn't so coordinated coming in yesterday and I actually booked my tour at the last minute. I actually Googled it and saw some of the excursion recommendations, and that's how I ended up booking that one. But it wasn't booked through the cruise line or anything. I just did it on my own sort of last minute. So if you're last minute like I am, maybe that's an option. Just get off the ship and see what folks are offering around in the port area. So this building here is one of the first buildings you'll come to, and they actually rent out a lot of these jet skis and sea-doos and little water sport activity things here. So just know that you can do that. But I just wanted to take a minute and look at how beautiful this area is. Of course, a lot of these old buildings that you see here, they had the Royal Navy situated here in Bermuda as their main hub of military activity in the Western Hemisphere. They no longer have a presence here, but now it is a port area. It is a hub of tourism here in Bermuda because they do get a lot of cruise ship traffic now. That's changed a lot in the last several years, and now they get so much cruise ship traffic that this is sort of the hub of it all. There's some more of the rentals. You can actually rent mopeds or scooters for the day. They also have the Segway scooters around too, renting those. And then I see folks here just in front of us are getting on a tender. They do offer tenders to Hamilton. There's also here on the same sidewalk when you get off the ship and start walking a Bermuda Visitor Center. Right here they have maps in there, they have guides. They also have free Wi-Fi. So they talk about the English influence on this island, but I just don't see it. I don't. Maybe I'll see it as we walk around. Oh, they have telephones here though if you need to make a call to someone. And they're still payphones. Remember payphones? Those are fun. So if you need to make a call, there you go. And of course the shops they have here, again, we're still in the immediate port area. There's shops over here. They have a duty-free, it's a Bermuda rum over there. And then we have the Island Outfitters back here, the Crown and Anchor. They claim to have classic Bermudan apparel. So lots of shopping options here in the immediate port area, as well as some restaurants and bars, which we saw right over here. They also have chickens, a lot of chickens. So if you don't like chickens, don't come to Bermuda. I don't like chickens. So down through here in these little buildings, they actually have, there's another building right down there at the end for scooter rentals. And then here across the way, there's John Faulkner Pottery Gallery and the John Faulkner Studio. And then up here, there's also the Dockyard Pharmacy. I did hear that you can come here and get a lot of essential items that you might need. Yeah, it looks like they actually fill prescriptions. They have all different types of medications, health and beauty aids, snacks and beverages, magazines. So it seems like a lot of items that you might need if you get in the middle of your cruise and realize, oh, I forgot something, or I really need some type of medicine or something. Instead of getting it on the ship, you could plan to get it here at the Dockyard Pharmacy. It's also just really cool to see all the boating stuff and all the old machinery and stuff, and just to be reminded that, yeah, this was a dockyard. This was a boatyard where they would repair and work on boats and stuff. So you see a lot of boats up on blocks, and you see the machinery like this over here, this lift. So it's just really cool. And a lot of the buildings have been repurposed from their former purpose of being used in the boatyard or the dockyard to now being shops and things. So it's a really cool feel, a very cool vibe and atmosphere here in the port. Actually, there is another ship going to be in port with us today. because there comes Mariner of the Seas. Mariner of the Seas coming from Florida, I believe. So they'll probably be here with us the rest of the time, because most of the time when ships come to Bermuda, they're docked here for a couple days because it is sort of out of the way and there's no other islands nearby without another sea day or two in between. So you're usually docked here for more than a day. So cool to see another Royal Caribbean ship here in Bermuda today. Here in the very back of the Royal Dockyard, you'll find the Snorkel Park Beach Club, the fun zone, and you can come here and they have a beach. There's also mini golf, different activities, but you see here you do have to pay for this. They also have loungers and umbrellas and things like that, but important to note, even though it is just a 5-minute walk away to the beach and all the things advertised here, it is a $15 entry per day, and again $35 if you're coming for all 3 days at your import. And here we are. This is it. You can see they've got a place over there you can rent things, probably pay the admission fee, where you can get your umbrellas and everything, and you can see the beach right out there beyond it. So an option if you want to go to the beach while you're here in the port. And if it helps to get you here, just follow the big green footsteps you see on the sidewalk. They'll take you right up to the door. Just up the sidewalk from the fun zone back there. On the way back to the ship, you can see the ship's right over there. Here's the National Museum of Bermuda, and it looks like this is a paid attraction also, but you can pay to go in here. Again, this is inside the old fort from back when this was the Royal Navy Dockyard. So if you are a history buff like me, there is a National Museum here, and you can come and check out some stuff. Not sure what's in it, but it does look cool to be able to walk through, you know, in the fort and stuff. But just another option for your day here in Royal Navy Dockyard. And just across the street from that is a traditional pub, traditional English pub. It's called the Frog and Onion Pub. So if you want to come to a pub and get some beer, I think they brew their own beer here. There's also a restaurant you can get some food, but that's located here right across the street from the Bermuda Museum, right back there. Also important to keep in mind when you're coming here, if you're renting a car or scooter or anything like that, they do drive on the opposite side of the road from the United States. Since this is, well, formerly a British territory, please keep that in mind and be safe if you are renting any type of motor vehicle here in Bermuda. So it's about the middle of the day and it's hot here in Bermuda, so I'm making my way back to the ship. But I hope you got a good idea in this video of all the things there are to do in the immediate port area. That's a question I get a lot. Here in Royal Dockyard is just about as much stuff that's interesting to do just about anywhere. I love the look of the old forts, the old buildings, the history here. There's the beach, there's Glass Beach. That's about a 20 or 30 minute walk if you kept walking out the road. So there are things to do here in the immediate port area that you don't need an excursion to do. However, if you want to see some of the stuff like we saw earlier in the video and more of the island of Bermuda, I highly recommend that you do book some type of a tour so that you can get out and see these things, because it is a beautiful place. Again, my first time here and I've been blown away, and I will absolutely be coming back, whether by boat or just flying in here and staying for a week, because it's a very unique place. It's not like the Caribbean islands or the Bahamas. So maybe think about skipping going to the Bahamas sometime and come to Bermuda instead and really just check out this place. And maybe get on one of the cruises that stays here for a few days so you can get a good feel of the islands. You can check out the dockyards, you can check out the other side of the island, you can go to Hamilton, you can go to the beaches on the South Shore. You can do all these things because it's worth it. So that's going to do it for our time here in Bermuda. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please go down below, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any more of my cruise excursions. We're traveling the world, and I invite you to come along with me. Mostly today, though, I hope you've seen something that inspires you to get out and see a little bit of the world on your own. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.